Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. Today we are gonna do the critical analysis of another story which is Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl. First of all, let's see the background of the writer. Roald Dahl was born in 1916 and died in 1990. He was a British novelist, short story writer, poet, screenwriter, and wartime pilot. He was referred as a storyteller of the children of the 20th century. He was awarded as the World Fantasy Award for Life Achievements in 1983, and he is well known for unexpected endings. Some of his famous works are Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Witches, Matilda, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Now about the story, more than 250 million copies sold worldwide, and he died in UK on 23rd November 1990 at the age of 74. Now some of his means the writing style of Roald Dahl. Dahl's writing style involves a great deal of humor to engage his readers. His humors and sarcasm appeal to his intended that children love reading funny stories with nonsense words and absurd behavior. He normally writes from a child's perspective, one that children can familiarize with. Now, it is well known that he is, humorous and his stories involve sarcasm, and he mostly writes with child's perspective. And his language is like easy to understand for children. So, let's discuss the short summary of the story. The story follows Mary Melanie, a housewife who kills her husband using a frozen leg of the lamb. Mary then sets up a crime scene and tricks the investigating officers into eating the now cooked lamb, disposing of the evidence. Now it is clear that it is a kind of murder story where a wife killed her husband, and the murder weapon was the leg of the lamb. And now he is trying to make herself escape from the investigation. So here are the characters. First of all, Mary Melanie. She is the antagonist and she is the wife of Patrick. And she is housewife and she is pregnant. Then we have Patrick Melanie. He is a police detective and he is protagonist and he was the one who was killed by Mary. Then we have Jack Noonan. He is a police officer who came for investigation. Then O'Malley, he is also a police officer who came for investigation. And Sam was a grocer or shopkeeper. He is a minor character. Then let's discuss the setting of the story, that where and when this story takes place. It took place in the Melanie home on Thursday night when Patrick tells Mary he is leaving her. The story was written in 1953. The story time setting is a period when women's role were limited and divorce was not common. Now see, it was a time of night in the story, and the story was written in 1953. And at that time, divorce was not common, and divorce was not something which is which can be which can be done on regular basis, and this was not common. That is the reason that Melanie was somehow shocked or depressed that why my husband is going to leave me, because at that time in 1953 divorce was not common. Then here are some of the figurative languages or literary devices which were used in the story. First of all, it is hyperbole. Hyperbole is basically the exaggeration or emphasis on something. Means we can say somehow exaggeration of a word or a situation in order to do emphasize. Like for example, we say I have told you this million times. Now million times is in technically it is not true, but for emphasizing we do exaggeration. So in the story, hyperbole can be seen when Mary killing her husband over a simple divorce. Mary going from an innocent person to a murderer means Mary was just killing her husband over a simple divorce. Although it is not very, minor thing, but still, it is hyperbole. Then irony is of three types basically. We'll discuss it further as well. In which the what we say the meaning is totally different, or what we were expecting the situation is totally different, or the third one is dramatic irony, in which what readers know or what the viewers know, the characters don't know. It's like that. Like here is dramatic irony in the story. It shows an example of dramatic irony as the audience know that the lamb's leg was the murder weapon, but the character don't. So here are the three types of irony. First one is verbal irony, the use of words to convey opposite of their literal meaning. Like I said earlier, that whatever is being said, the meaning is totally different. Like I say, you come too early, but in reality, that person came so late. It is verbal irony. Then we have situational irony. It can also be something in contradiction to the situation. It means like something which we were not expecting occurred. We were expecting something else when the situation is some totally different, totally in contrast to it. It is situational irony. And then dramatic irony, that readers know but characters don't. Something which readers know but characters don't. It is dramatic irony. It can be seen in the story, The Lamb to the Slaughter. Then we have symbolism. Symbolism is a literary technique in which an object is used to represent something else. Means there is an object and it has its own meaning as well, but here it is indicating something else. Like rose is a symbol of love, like that. So here, lamb in the story can symbolize both Patrick and Mary. Now we will discuss it in the critical analysis that why lamb can be symbolized as for both Patrick and Mary. Here are some of the examples of irony from the text. The murder weapon is probably right under our noses. This was the dialogue in the story, inside the story, and it is verbal irony because in reality they couldn't find the murder weapon and they are saying like that. Means it is one of the dialogue of the police officer. Then Mary waiting for her husband and readers were expecting they would meet with affection, but it didn't happen. It is situational irony that readers were thinking that when husband came after office, they were expecting that they will meet up and they will patch up, but in reality, the opposite of what we were expecting happened. Then we have Mary insists to eat the leg of lamb. We know it is murder weapon, but characters do not. It is dramatic irony, like we know what the reality is, but the characters don't. Then here is one of another figurative language. It is dark humor. It is a non-serious way of treating or dealing with serious subjects. Means when we deal with serious subjects or serious matters in a non-serious way, it is dark humor. For example, Mary giggles when one of the officers comments, "The murder weapon is probably right under our noses." Now the situation is somehow serious, but Mary was, dealing it in a non-serious way. So it is an example of dark humor. Now let's discuss the plot of the story. First of all, where the rising action take place. As Mary waits for her husband to return in anticipation and continues to increase as it becomes clear that he is preparing to tell her something. Like when Patrick came, he was, preparing himself, and it got clear that he is, preparing in order to tell her something. Now, let's discuss the conflict. Conflict can be of two types. One is internal, like person versus self, and the other is external. External can be, of different type, like person versus person, person versus nature, person versus society, person versus technology, and like that. So in the story we can find both the external conflict and internal conflict. First of all, external conflict, where does it occur? It is between Mary and Patrick, as Patrick tells her his pregnant wife that he is going to divorce her. Now here somehow the conflict occurred when when Patrick was about to divorce his wife. It ends Mary hits her husband with a frozen leg of lamb. Now in the result, what happened was Mary hit her husband with the frozen leg of lamb. Then the internal conflict, when Mary attempts to avoid being caught, she knows that if she is caught, she will be executed, and she fears that her unborn child will also be killed. Now, the internal conflict was when she had killed her husband, and now she was trying not to be caught, as she knew that if she got caught, she will be executed, and her unborn child will also be killed. That was the internal conflict. Then the falling action, when the police officer, while eating the leg of the lamb, says of the murder weapon probably right under our noses. Now here in the falling action, it is where the story is moving towards the resolution. Then we have the resolution. The police officer eat the murder weapon and Mary Melanie giggles. She gets away with the murder. Now at the end, what happened was the police officer who were there for investigation, they ate the murder weapon, like the leg of the lamb, they ate. And now Mary Melanie got away with the murder, as the murder weapon has been, vanished or eaten. So that was the resolution. Now here are several themes for this story. You can agree or disagree with anyone you want, and you can justify it as per your understanding. Now, while reading the story, it is up to you how you take out the theme and what you have learned from the story. This is what we basically call theme, like what is the moral of the story? What do we learn from the story? These are the themes. Now, the first one is expect the unexpected. It is self-explanatory, like means we have to expect the unexpected, like we were not expecting Mary, like Mary would kill, and we were not even expecting that she would kill with the lamb, with the leg of the lamb. So it is what we can say, like we should expect the unexpected, means this is what the story is trying to tell us, that expect the unexpected. Then we have things are not as they seem, like appearance versus reality. We can say, like if I give you the reference, like we were not expecting Mary. Like she was, in the story, in the beginning, she was not a kind of, a clever or cunning type of wife. She was, very obedient and very simpleton kind of wife. But in reality, she was the murderer. Then we have be careful who you trust. This is also, very, very common, we can say, themes or the moral we can get from stories. Then we have the intensity with which love can be turned into hatred. Like it is simple, like in the beginning, Mary used to love her husband, and she was not even, she was not demanding for a divorce. Then we have sometimes good people can be driven to do bad things. Like here we can say, like in the beginning, Mary was not like a means she was not a uh, serial killer, and she was not that much bad. She loved her husband, and she was not even ready to be divorced. So the situation made her do these things. So we can say, like good people can be driven to do bad things because of situations, because of circumstances. Then betrayal, like the same, don't trust anyone, and things are not always as they seem, like the same we can say. expect the unexpected or appearance versus reality. Now let's see the title justification, like how we can relate the title with the story, Lamb to the Slaughter. The story. First of all, it can be that Mary killed her husband with a frozen leg of lamb. In this case, Mary is the slaughter. Like, the Mary killed her husband with the leg of the lamb. So here the lamb is the same lamb, and Mary was the slaughter as she killed her husband with this leg. Secondly, we can also say like that this is used for a innocent person who does not know what dangers might lie ahead. We can say means we can uh, say lamb to the slaughter to both Mary and Patrick, like they both in reality don't know what dangers they have to face further. Like initially Mary didn't know that she was about to get divorced, and Patrick also didn't know that he was about to be killed. So in this case we can say both Mary and Patrick lamb to the slaughter, and it's up to you whether you agree or disagree or to which side you will choose. But you have to keep this thing in mind that you have to justify your argument with references and with arguments and justification. Now, here is the question which we can use for critical analysis and for further debate and discussion. Do you want Mary to get away with her husband's murder? Why or why not? Like, if do you want that Mary should be caught, or you don't? If you want, tell the reason. If you don't, tell the reason as well. So that is it. I hope you find it useful, and if you do, please like, share, and subscribe to it, and ask any question if you have in the comment section. We'll see you next time, inshallah. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.